Mr. Organ.
Hello, thank you so much for joining Worldview Talk Show. My name is Chantel Zoe, and I am here with three beautiful ladies. I'll start off with Jessica Martinez, Alaysia Saint Furcy, and then Kimberly Bennet. And we are here today to talk about loving others with our gifts. And we know Valentine's Day is right around the corner, and it's a time where we can all show each other love, whether it's through chocolate, through bringing each other to a restaurant, or making it something where, you know, if you don't show me love today, you might die. You know, it's a crazy concept, but I wanted to bring everyone here together so that we could be able to really talk about what it really does mean to love each other with our gifts, because, you know, we don't have to buy gifts to really show love that way, but there's many ways we can do that.
Yes.
Jessica, you mentioned earlier that Valentine's Day was one of your favorite times of the year. Can you explain why?
Because it's actually the day to show love. So, like, for example, for your birthday, like a lot of people say, well, every day, 365 is a day to show love. But it's the same way, like, you were born, right, on a specific day. So every day I'm going to show you love. But on the day that you were born, we're going to acknowledge that. So I think it's the day to really show how we love one another and celebrate love. So I love it.
What's one way that you have that you like to show love on that day to, let's say, your mom or a significant other or even yourself?
Definitely words of affirmation. That's my love language. So words of affirmation and spending time with the people that I love.
That's awesome.
Like exalting them.
You were going to say something? No? now she is.
Yep.
So Valentine's Day, hate it, love it, in between.
I don't know. I'm just here, you know.
So what about love do you love? Or what do you like to love people with as far as gifts?
I think I'm definitely like a gift giver, so that's like one of my love language, but also acts of services. So I like to like serve people, and I like to like actually get them to like feel like loved at the same time. But like it's just like, I don't know. That's how I that's how I do it.
All right, I like that. Well, I mean, you said acts of services, which is something that, you know, people could see that either as an obligation, or it could see something as, I want to sacrifice, whether it's time or finances, to be able to serve.
Yeah.
And not everyone looks at it in that way. So I liked that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kimmy, your turn. So how do you feel about Valentine's Day?
I pretty much look at Valentine's Day as another day, really. I think I'm more of one of those people who say, hey, well, you have all year to show your gratitude and your love to people. I'm one of the people who pretty much, you know, you give your flowers to people while they're alive.
Right.
And you make sure that you know, take advantage of the time that you have. I don't think that you should have to wait, you know, for one day out of the year.
Right.
There's 364 other days to show someone that you really care and love them. You can do that every day, whether it's, you know, acts of service or affection, saying I love you all the time, or just, you know, buying things or just spending time. You know, so I think that it's all year round, every day of the week, you know, just sharing with each other.
Okay.
It's important.
Yeah, it is. And I'm definitely leaning more on the similar side as Kimmy. I don't, at the same time, I definitely still celebrate Valentine's Day, but it's one of those things where I don't like to make anybody do anything. But it's nice.
No, you no Valentine's Day and every other day. I'm not making you. This is your job.
This is your
like
job.
this is what you're supposed to do, and especially on Valentine's Day.
Yes,
like either day. Like including 365, but also on special holidays and birthdays. Like, go out your way. Like, you know, like, when you were born, your parents didn't just say, this is another day, you know? Like, it's the same thing as in when you try to, even though it's a pagan holiday, but it's still a place where, like, do you love, like, what is, because it's a pagan holiday, does that subtract from what the holiday actually is saying, you know? Like, we are supposed to give our, what is it called? Like, give our love all the time, but like sometimes extra, like I'm thinking about you a little bit more today, you know? So that's why.
Yes.
Yeah. How do you think it makes people feel when they don't have a significant other, or if...
Me? Sorry.
Yes.
Yes, we hear. Yes.
Noted.
So
It's
if
like I
you
might
said
bake you some cookies.
For all of the guys that are interested,
right,
you know.
866.
Yes.
But no, like seriously, you know, I sometimes we don't think about that. Like we do when we're in school, like growing up, everyone's like, oh, here's a card that has a lollipop attached to it or a chocolate or something. But as we get older, you know, so-and-so might send flowers to work or, you know, to your house, but we don't really think about people that don't have a significant other.
Then that person could actually show love to people around them, you know? It's not, that's why I've been saying is like, I don't have to be in love with you to love you.
To love you.
Yeah, so that's my thing too. Like last Valentine's Day, I was like giving out flowers to people, and it was just like blessing them, just because they didn't expect anything, right? So that's what I'm saying is like, it's a love language, but it doesn't mean significant other.
Right, which I like, because we definitely, I guess the way that it's marketed, it's basically mainly whether it's your significant other or your mom.
Yeah.
Not really your dad. It's usually a significant other or your mom, and that's basically what you see. And if you don't, you're gonna cause some trouble, basically. But it shouldn't be done in that way, because, you know, love, we shouldn't threaten, right? But it is something that's important if we all were on the same accord and be like, hey, let's just show extra love all around today. I think it would send a much different vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny because I've been single 8 years, and I know in the last...
Another one.
Me too.
In the last, and it's because it's been a healing journey with the Lord. So I would say in the last 2 years, I just really spent time alone with the Lord. Like, I know last year I was home and I was painting, and I did a painting and it said madly in love, and then / God, like it was from God. And this year just going to be with friends doing fellowship and just getting with Holy Spirit and the Lord, because these times are sweet. Like, I'm realizing now, when you're single, we don't take advantage of it. Because once, you know, we start dating someone, you know, well, courting, right? Getting married, children, family, you don't have the time that we have now. So I'm trying to savor that as much as I can, because I do feel like my time is coming. So I just like to be intimate. Like, I just love intimacy, so who better than to be with God?
Of course.
I think people miss that a lot too, is that they miss, like, in the Bible it says it's as being married is one thing, just as being single is as a greater gift as well. And it says that, like Paul says that if you're single, be happy single. Like, this is a gift from God, because you're married is not the greatest gift, you know. Like, because you're single, God doesn't see you less than because you're not married to someone, you know. Like, the greatest gift isn't marriage, if that makes sense.
No, I think that's beautiful, because again, we're bringing it back to the title of the show, loving each other with our gifts. And seeing that God gave us the greatest gift, one of the greatest gifts, and that's actually being single, because it means that we get to spend more time
with
him intimately, without any distractions or any confusion or anything like that. So I really like that you brought that up.
But also knowing what the wait is for, right? So it's not, you know, just passing time.
Right.
The wait is the process of stewardship. It's
Yeah.
the maturity. That's where you get the maturity of knowing what it takes to house and develop a relationship. I've been single for 8 years as well.
Oh, come on.
And, and it's been a journey.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's been a journey. And before, I wasn't, I didn't understand a lot of the things that I understand as far as being a helpmate, knowing myself, what can I bring to the table, right? A lot of times it's, what can the person do for me? What am I looking in the relationship for? What can I get out of this? What I want from this? Not many times you will hear someone say, this is what I have to offer the next person that comes into my life.
Yes.
This is the love that I have to bring, and how I can be a helpmeet to you. That's what it's about.
Right,
That's what
right.
love is about.
It's
Love is
about-
not a take. I want to take this, and lust does that.
Yes.
Yes.
Love, it always gives. It always adds. It always, produces. It
Yeah.
always brings forth fruit. So, yeah.
Hence again, being a gift.
Yes.
And so, we're it's having the same common theme about, again, it not being in a threatening way at
Yes.
all, but it being in a giving way, because a gift is always given.
Yeah.
A gift
Always.
is not necessarily a priority, though we would like for it to be, but that's not how it is all the time.
Wow. Can you say that again? That was really good. That was
A
really
gift
good.
is not always a priority, but it is, we would like it to be,
Yeah.
but a gift is a choice. A gift is something that someone gives it's better when it's out of the goodness of their heart instead of, here, let me check this off.
Yes.
Because imagine if that was, and a lot of people, they spend their time with God that way, or they try to spend their time with Him that way. Oh, let me give Him my time here, let me read some
Wow.
scriptures here, let me serve here. Okay, why is my life still a mess? I did all of this for you, and starting off with the I again.
There it goes.
And it has nothing to do with that, seeing that He came to us, giving all of Himself so that we can live. So, wow.
Powerful.
I'm still stuck on the 8 and the 8. At
Yes.
the front and the end of the table, you know. And it's something that, both of you walk really confidently in, and I know everyone here really well. And each and every one of you love so differently, but so genuinely. And you walk in a way that no one's going to stir you. And I think that's super, super important to why each and every one of you loves so purely. Like this one right here, we could talk for hours and hours. Actually, I think I could talk to all of you for hours and hours. But, her smile will be a gift. And your laugh will be a gift.
Yes.
And then your comments, and also you'll share posts with me and videos with me.
Yeah.
Little sprinkles here and there. And I think those are ways that we can love each other without realizing the impact that it can make on someone's life.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yes.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I heard something. Todd White, I don't know if we all know who he is, but he said that love breaks people down. And I was like, wow, I love that. And I heard this other lady talking about how sometimes in life, because of everything that we go through, we are unable to receive like a compliment or exaltation or whatever. And so, but we just have to keep doing it because love will penetrate through that wall. And so I think just when you ask the question, how do you love through your gifts? And I think that that's what gives me confidence is that I'm going to love on people. And sometimes it's hard because you'll love someone or you want them to reciprocate it. And there's this wall. And then realizing that that wall has nothing to do with you, but it has a lot to do with what's going on behind the curtain and what's happened. So, but if we just keep loving and penetrating that, they'll see it,
That's beautiful.
So that inspires me.
Yeah. And love is a choice.
Yeah.
So,
It really, really
you
is.
have to choose to love no matter what. If that's when you have those boundaries there. You, like you said, it could be hard. What do you do?
Right.
Do you choose to love anyway, or do you back off and say, hey, well, forget you? So, you have to choose to love. That's a choice.
Yeah, and it's a choice. You know, what you had said is sometimes people don't reciprocate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've been in that position a lot, and I've had to learn, who cares?
Yeah.
Because my assignment is to love that person. And whether they receive it or not, I'm going to plant that seed.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I mean it genuinely. And, you know, when you think about gifts, we don't ever give a gift just to get one back.
Yeah.
Right.
But a lot of times when it comes to love, we show love in a certain way, thinking we're going to get it back in the same way, and we don't. And if we're not open to it, we're going to miss the other ways that we're given to it because we don't give it in that way.
Right.
And that's one thing that I've absolutely have had to learn.
Right.
And a lot of people definitely struggle with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
And also, too, just respecting the person's way of giving that love. Because sometimes, you know, we can feel, and this is where our emotions come into play, we can feel unloved because we only identify with our way of expression of love.
Yeah.
And, you know, sometimes people have different ways of loving.
Yeah.
We all do. Actually, we all do. So it just goes back to, you know, how you perceive, how you receive, how you interpret. And it comes down to just allowing that person to be their true selves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think when you are courting or you are you like dating with someone, it is important to let them know what your love language is.
Yes.
You can't go, let me tell y'all, like, you can't go around, like, not knowing someone's love language and you're doing the love language that reciprocates to you, but that's not that person. Like, for Jessica, her love language is affirmations, and then my love language is not affirmations, but she continues to like continue to affirm me, and I'm not affirmed. Like, or I don't feel like, not saying that she doesn't love me, but like that's not my love language.
Right.
Like, you, like the same thing. If I shower her with gifts, I just shower her with gifts, but that's not her love language. So like, it's the same thing. It's like, so you gotta keep on doing something someone don't like, and that's why y'all don't get along.
Yeah.
That's why y'all not going to the next level, is because you guys not one person.
Communicating on what kind of love.
And the
Or even
communication is so
respect.
important.
Yeah.
Like, you're not understanding someone from the beginning, you know?
Yep. Well, I guess it reminds me of how, so around Christmas time, the older we got, my father actually, he would take us to the mall. And so there's me, my brother, and my sister. And so he would go with one of us, the other two would walk around, and he would say, go see what you like, and then when you're done, like, we'll meet up at a certain time, we'll switch, basically, and then we'll go around and get what you like. Because after a while, he's like, you guys are getting too old. I don't have time to guess what you want. And I can't just waste money on maybe you liking something.
Yeah.
And I started doing that with my son recently, not for everything, but some things, because I completely get it. Like, there's certain things where you know the gifts that you like, and I want to give you a gift, but I may not know exactly what you need or you want.
Right.
So we have that communication process, and depending on the relationship, it can be transparent where it's, hey, let's just go together, or you have to drop those, you know, communication, you know, presence of saying, this is what I like, you know. And I never really thought of it that way.
Right.
Yeah, that makes it easier. Oh my God, but I'm such a person of presence, like being present and, you know, communicating, and in conversation just seeing those things. Like, I mentioned this, I mentioned that. So you surprising me with something that I like, it communicates to me that you're listening.
Yes.
Because one of the things is quality time.
Yes.
So you're spending time and you're being present to it. Then those things really like show me that you love me, that you're being present. But I think back to when I was a child. I remember, you know, it's different, right? You tell your parents, I want this jacket that's in this store. And then when they get it for you, you're like, yay, you listened. And I really, really wanted it. So I get that part. Yeah, it works.
It definitely does. Yeah, it's definitely a twofold thing. I think it's good to have like a good balance. Because remember, there was times when my fiance, before he was my fiance, there was some things I would send him that I liked or I would talk about. And then he's not great with surprising. He's just too excited about the surprise. So,
I'm that person too.
so he would like send me a screenshot of the thing that I had sent him that I liked. Or, you know, that he bought it. He's like, it'll be in your mailbox on Monday or whatever. I'm like, you couldn't just wait? He's like, no.
Yes.
So like
That
that
gives me
said,
so much anxiety. Do not surprise me. Do not.
Really?
That's not a love language of mine. I'm so like, why? Do not do that. Like, my anxiety level is like, no. So I send out exactly what I want. So I'm just like him, like you.
Yeah.
Like, but if you give me something else, I'm like, you didn't listen.
oh, no, so I'm in between. I'm in between.
I'm not.
Yeah.
If it's better, if it's a car, I mean, you could be mad about a car and you want an iPhone.
What if it's a hoop?
Hey, he said a car.
I don't think that's good. They know my taste.
We talking about quality, right?
I don't think that's good.
Imagine.
Yeah. Oh, shot that kid.
No.
No, but I completely understand where you're coming from. But a lot of people, but sometimes people search for that too much, where it's guess what I want. Why don't you know what I want?
Right.
Do you know what you want?
I'm not a mind
No.
reader.
No.
No.
Half
Yeah,
of the time we don't even. You know what? I had this conversation with one of my friends not too long ago. Half of the time we think we know what we want, and we're praying, oh Lord, do this, and I need this, and when it comes, we can't even recognize it.
Yeah.
We don't recognize it at all. And we're dissatisfied with it. It's not, it's not this, and sometimes we nitpick
Yes.
for no reason, so that's where being open-minded comes in, and not always looking for to receive, and it's kind of, I don't know if that's a selfish thing.
I think it's an identity issue.
Possibly,
If you
it could be.
think about
Yeah, it could be.
I don't
that
know,
too.
because in the Bible, like, the Pharisees expected the Messiah to come, right?
Right.
But when the Messiah was there, because it didn't look like what they thought it was supposed to look like, they didn't accept it. You get what I'm saying? So, like, that's the same thing in every other case. If we bring it to that, is because I don't expect it to look like this. It's right in my face, and I don't see it.
Right.
Yes.
So that poses the question: is that a selfish thing because it does not look like what I want it to look like?
It is.
Even though I prayed for
Which
this,
I think is
or
why I'm thinking about
I wanted
identity,
this.
because
Maybe it's
about
not selfless.
Me, yeah.
It's not. It's you think God is going to do exactly what you think.
Right.
That's what that is. It's like, it's not even a selfless thing. It's more of, you expect it to look like something, but God is so much bigger of what you thought.
Right. Yeah.
So it's more than like how selfish am I, but how less do I think
Yeah.
God is.
Yeah.
How small
Yeah.
do
Yeah,
Small-minded.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
We're so
Small
small-minded.
thinking.
Exactly.
And that can be in turn of how they translate the gift. Oh, that's all you got me?
Yeah. I've done that before. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, I have I don't like to hurt anybody's feelings.
Yeah,
I know.
I like to.
I have moments where I've been like, oh, and then be like, so that thing you got me the very day though.
Right. Yeah. Don't hold
day.
it in. Do not hold it in. That's not a good thing.
No, I'm not like that. I accept all gifts.
No, I accept them, but I
Well,
may not
even-
use all gifts.
That's true.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's very true.
Yeah.
I knew some celebrities, they did this challenge where they had to spend $20 and to express their love and get creative. So it was more about the time you spent, like the
Yes.
thought behind it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so they did that challenge, and it was
That's
it was like a
beautiful.
TV show.
Oh yeah, but that's my thing. It's like, if I get a gift, that means you thought about me. So that's why I'm receiving it. Like, no matter
Yes.
what it is. Like, if it's a coffee mug, like, dang, you knew I would like this. You know, like, even though if I don't like it, but it's like you still thought, to give this to me.
So the gift is the initial thought.
Yes,
Yes.
because,
Yeah.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. And we can definitely miss that a lot if we focus on
What it is.
Right, on the what it is instead of the thought of what it is.
Yes.
And then we would appreciate it so much more. And then they actually would give more.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
yeah.
How you know this person didn't find this cup at they're at a mug store, they in the mug store, you know, like they can't get you a car because they in a mug store, you know, like that's
In the
what
moment.
yes, in the moment
Right.
they thought about, oh, this would be nice for you.
Yeah. I
You
think
in a
you want-
mug store, not a car dealership.
I think she wants a car.
Yo, you putting that out
Yo.
there.
in Jesus'
Twice.
name. But I do actually, yes, I do. I want a Range Rover. If anybody in
Out there.
I'm telling you, you just gotta put it out there, like
Yes.
a Discovery if you really want to be nice.
Claim it. Okay.
But yes, I'm just saying, like, you can't look at this gift as less. That's where they were,
Right,
You know,
exactly.
like, but
Exactly.
you seeing for what you want.
For what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for all you know, they were in a mug store or whatever, and then thought about how much they loved you.
Yeah.
Let me just get this as a representation because I'm thinking, but we go way too deep
Yeah.
in that, and instead of seeing what's clearly on the surface,
Definitely.
Right.
which can mess up love a whole lot.
Yeah, you know, I'm reminded of the scripture that says, "Do not despise the small beginning."
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Always be grateful.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
be grateful.
Even if the small beginning's a mug, it could be a car. And
there she
10
goes
to
in that
5
car.
Yeah, you got that car.
It could. I'm telling you. A lot of people that happened to John Gray is like he couldn't afford a Ferrari. I think that's what car he got his wife. But
Okay.
but 10 years later, she has a Ferrari. So
Right, right.
don't
Right.
despise the small beginnings.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really, really important.
Yes,
Because when you can do that and you have a posture of thanksgiving,
yeah.
a posture of gratefulness
Yes.
Humbleness.
and humbleness,
Yeah.
you're going to identify so many things as love.
Yeah.
And I think I mentioned to someone today, you know, love never fails.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really doesn't. So
It's the greatest gift.
even though we might see that gift as a failure if we
Yeah.
are too small-minded about
Yeah.
it, the other person that gave the gift,
Yeah.
their love, that didn't fail. We just
Yeah.
didn't receive it.
Yeah.
Right.
That's good.
So it just sounds like, basically, it's the mindset.
Yeah, yeah.
The
Oh,
mindset.
the mind.
That's another whole
And the heart.
show.
Yes, that is a whole other show.
I think so
And the
too.
heart.
It's the heart.
The heart.
Yeah, the issue of the
Yeah.
heart.
Like
for sure.
recently, I just started to really explore how we say "I love you" to people, and we're in a place of need. So if I say "I love you," it's because I know my "I love you" is going to cause you to do things to comfort me, and then it's this game, you know, but
Yeah.
we're both in need and we're operating out of lack. And I think, you know, through this journey, this 8-year journey of being single, it's almost like a mirror, like having to look at myself and say, I need to address all this unresolved trauma
Right.
that creates lack
Yes.
and then also creates abuse, right? Because then
Right.
we learn that and then we give that back. And just really, you know, we're called to be like everything, like nothing missing, nothing broken, like wholeness. Because I want that. Like
Right.
you're talking about, I want this Ferrari. I want a love
Oh, I
that's
don't want a
like
Ferrari.
Range
Range
Rover,
Rover.
Discovery. How can I forget, right? But just really wanting to be in a relationship where there's wholeness. And when we start to operate out of lack and need, we're able to check ourselves and in partnership being able to check one another and say,
Yeah.
yo, that's not my stuff.
Right,
Like,
right.
But in loving kindness.
So it
And-
starts off with really loving yourself properly.
For sure.
Yeah, because without
100%.
that, then the whole thing is a wreck. It may look, you may be able to have a great illusion for a while, a facade on there, but then after a while it breaks down.
Yeah.
But we could talk about love forever.
Yes.
And I certainly hope that we can have you ladies back on the show for another topic, maybe the mind. I think that would be amazing. And until then, we thank all of you for joining us here on Worldview Talk Show. And we pray that you have been blessed by this message and that you're able to love someone with your gift, not just on Valentine's Day, but on every day. But love someone a little extra on Valentine's Day.
Yes.
May not be your significant other. It could be the mailman. It could be your teacher. It could be your boss. Surprise someone and surprise yourself. Thank you for tuning in, and join us also on YouTube. Find Worldview Talk Show. And have a great, blessed day.
Awesome.
Yes.
So good.
you.